My name is Jim Sorem, and this is Pat, my lovely wife, and we have moved to Williston about a year and a half ago, and we're working at Eckert Youth Homes and sharing our life over there and experiencing what it's like to be a part of a lot of drama at times, but we enjoy it. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Pastor Dan asked us to talk a little bit about just our experience of maybe life and generosity, and what I do know is that when you suffer pain or setbacks, I just noticed that it's easy to pull in, and because pain and suffering has a way of just kind of holding you in. And we've experienced over our years of living and ministry some moments, some times that have brought us pretty close to the end of ourselves, and our daughter Jamie. Pat, maybe you just want to talk a little bit about our journey with her.
We adopted Jamie when she was a baby, and just thrilled to have her. And after Jamie was born, we had two other children, and we noticed when Jamie was about in junior high school, she just started developing really severe mood swings and a lot of depression, and we tried so hard to help her, just taking her to counselors and talking with her. And Jim's very outdoorsy, and we were always, he was playing baseball with her and volleyball. We were very active with Jamie. We just couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Well, it ended up we had to go back into our records of adoption. They were closed, and we had to get a court order. And in that process, we found out that in her background was a disease called Huntington's chorea. And
Yes.
That's when we decided to get a blood test, and that was confirmed. And that was maybe 5-6 years ago. And the nature of that disease has moved very quickly, where now Jamie, she just cannot walk, she can't use her hands. And that's been a difficult journey, just watching that happen to her daughter.
Someone said a very wise thing to me. They said, when you were choosing Jamie, God was choosing you. And that gave me a great sense of peace, that I began to see a bigger picture, that it wasn't just, this little family, but that God looked at us and said, hey, you two, I have a calling for you, and you're going to take this little girl and walk her through a very difficult journey. And that's what we're doing.
And that's just a journey we've taken as a family. And we've been fortunate. Our son and our daughter, the other son and daughter, they've been helpful in our family. And one thing about this experience is that we have learned, we've been a part of many people who are suffering. People come to us who are suffering now, and we see this journey as something that has been greater than us. And telling that story, or being a part of other people's lives who have struggled far worse than we have, or who have less resources than we have, less family than we have, what do? And so part of it has just been God using that experience for other people. We say it, and we don't want to use a platitude, God's grace is sufficient, but God's grace shows up. It just shows up when we need it.
Jamie's favorite verse.
Yep.
That I asked God over and over, take this thorn from me. And he said, my grace is sufficient.
And that's been an amazing part of the
It
journey.
is, just day by day.
If you have not met Jim and Pat, and they got Jamie too, it's an incredible couple. And you could hang out with this family. In fact, I've had several conversations with them before finding out about this situation, because they don't run around and tell everybody, and you wouldn't know by looking on their faces, because they have a joy, because they know this isn't about them, it's about others. Would you guys come on over here? Huh?
A little bit too close to
Here's your family, and you got a couple kids in Boulder, Colorado. I'm going to let you hold this. I trust you. Now, you're a pastor, so I know. Let's just be careful here. I'm in control, okay? Let's just remind everybody that I'm in charge right now, okay?
ask your wife first.
No. Pull the trump card. Thank you. Wow. Can you guys just explain? I didn't put everything in the video that we talked about, but the small things of generosity that people have done for you as you've walked through this for the last several years, what they did for you and what they meant for you, just so that when we find somebody that's walking through something, the little things, but the little things, and what they meant.
I think for me, just Eckerd Homes with the kids, the boys and the girls. When we bring Jamie there, don't they, Jamie? They just kind of treat her like a princess, and they take over. And they say, you guys can just go, we'll take over. And that's just been incredible. See the generosity of kids when they see someone in need.
I was shopping once.
I'm going to have you two step up just so that we make sure everybody gets a clear angle.
I was shopping once with relatives of mine, and I was pushing Jamie in the wheelchair, which is hard then to really shop the way you want to. And I'm used to doing that, and my niece came and took the wheelchair from me and said, I'm going to push her today. And I said, oh, no, no, no. And she said, no, I'm going to do it. And she didn't realize how much it meant to me, because I'm used to being in charge. I'll do it. I'll take care of it. And that really blessed me that she said, just for that one afternoon, she's mine. You go and do your thing.
I've been inspired by your guys' story, your attitude, your ability to communicate that, and I didn't want to do a message of generosity and then call you up here and then not do anything. And so just after doing the interview with you guys, I text Jim a little bit. Sorry, Pat. And I thought it'd be cool to give mom and daughter a day out. And so we got you guys a gift card to Creative Elements, so the two of you get your hair done, get your nails done, be ladies, and we want to pamper, especially Jamie, because she is a princess. She's one of God's princesses, and so we want to give that to you guys. We love you. We appreciate you, and could you, before we wrap up, could you explain to us a little bit some of the maybe daily struggles that maybe you go through? She's continuing to grow, and I don't know, just some of the daily struggles and whatnot.
I think the hardest thing, when Jamie began to go downhill, she was in university. She was a volleyball player, very good volleyball player. And to watch her from playing volleyball every day to where she can't move and she can't use her hands and she can't get up and she can't feed herself, I think that's the hardest part, is just knowing that she has to depend on us and for everything she does. And for me, that's the easy part. I just know what it would be like for her to not be able to do that.
This is a muscle disease, and it affects the muscles around her mouth, and so it's hard for her to speak. But I appreciate all of you who come and you listen intently until you can understand the words she's saying, and that means a lot to her.
You have to lift her out of bed. You have to lift her everywhere. I can't imagine that's...
She's strong.
Yeah, super easy for you guys. Are you guys familiar with, they have devices with a Hoyer lift? Have you looked into those? Would that make life easier? You are now the owners of a Hoyer lift.
Wow.
This is yours.
I'm going to have to do something else to get in shape.
We know that you guys, your daily routine is different than ours. And as a church pastor, last week, I don't know if you guys are in here, he said, we want to do something special for Christmas. Will you give? And I'm using 2 microphones right now. Give me a third one. I've got a big enough mouth for it. And they gave. And you guys would not say that you deserve it. I know your hearts. But we want to do what we can to assist you and make your life easier in any capacity that we can. We love you. What you're doing is inspiring to each and every one of us. And so, Merry Christmas to you too. I love you guys.